You're listening to the Intuitive Souls podcast. I am your host, Erica Russo, and this podcast is designed to educate, inspire, and enlighten. Let's wake up together. Hello and welcome to the Intuitive Souls podcast. If this is your first time tuning in, welcome. I am super excited that the universe led you here. If you are an OG and you keep on coming back every single week and showing the support and showing the love, thank you guys so much. I love each and every one of you. If it wasn't for every single soul that listens to this podcast and talks to their friends about this podcast and shares this podcast, I would not be doing this show. And I love doing this show. I love bringing on guests that have so much insight, so much value. I love learning every single day. You guys, this is a learning experience for me as well. And you know, being able to put these conversations out there with these intuitive, amazing light workers for you guys to listen to and for me to connect with them. It's just like, is this my life? Is this like what is really happening right now? So guys, thank you so much for all the support that you give me. I cannot thank you enough. And if this podcast is helping you, if you're loving it, please head on over to iTunes and write a review. And before you go and submit it, you can go ahead and email me a screenshot of the review, and I will send you a code to get one of my Udemy courses for free, just as a thank you, because it's the reviews and it's, you know, you guys sharing this out that is helping this podcast grow and getting to the ears that need to listen to it. So again, if you have a minute, go ahead, head on over to iTunes. Before you submit the review, go ahead, screenshot it and send it to erusso, R-U-S-S-O, pmrp@gmail.com, and I'm going to go ahead and send you a coupon code for a free, excuse me, tongue-tied right now, a free course on one of my Udemy courses. So again, thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You know, all the love, all the downloads show me that I'm doing my job, and I'm talking about the things that maybe some people aren't happy about, but I feel like they need to be said. So I'm going to talk about the things that, you know, some people might be afraid to talk about. Maybe they're taboo, maybe they're controversial. I don't care, okay? Because these are things that need to be out in the open, especially if you're listening to this podcast. So, you know, definitely stay tuned for some more shows that might ruffle some feathers, but I think you see where I stand with that kind of stuff. So in today's episode, I want to talk about this idea that society holds about spiritual people, right? People that, you know, claim to be light workers, claim to be star seeds or empaths or healers or whatever the case may be. Now, for some reason, there's this like belief within the spiritual community. I don't want to say in the spiritual community, but within society that if you claim to be a light worker or a healer of some sort, that you need to be positive and happy and loving and caring 100% of the time. And that if you aren't like a walking angel with wings and, you know, being kind to everyone, that you're not a light worker. That's a crock of shit, because first off, I don't want to say unfortunately, but yeah, unfortunately, we are all human. Okay? Human life sucks 50% of the time. 50% of the time, it's really awesome and high vibrational and we're, you know, experiencing joy and love and abundance. But then the other 50% of the time, we're experiencing heartache and pain and anxiety and depression and fear and guilt. You know, this is what we signed up for when we reincarnated. to have the full human experience, good, bad, ugly, beautiful, and indifferent. And so many people don't kind of like take a step back when there's a light worker, because if you are listening to this podcast, chances are you are a light worker. Chances are you are a starseed. Chances are you are a healer. Okay. This podcast isn't for somebody that doesn't believe in this stuff. So clearly, if you're listening, you resonate with one of those labels. Okay. Guess what, guys? It's okay to get pissed off. It's okay to feel emotions that aren't high vibrational. That's what we signed up for. And that's what we need to remember, because for so long, when I first, woke up to my, I guess we can call it, after my dark night of the soul experience, I felt like I needed to be high vibrational 100% of the time. I feel like I had to be so high vibe, be happy, be calm. And all that did for me was create more stress. All that did for me was create more anxiety, because I was putting so much pressure upon myself to be like this light worker and to be, happy and to spread my light through positivity and being kind and loving and happy all the time, that it just caused more anxiety in my life. And it wasn't until I spoke with my guides, my spirit guides, where they were like, you are a human and you need to remember that. You have to experience the whole table of emotions, from good to bad to ugly to indifferent to guilt to anything, okay? There is a massive table of emotions that humans are going to deal with at least one point in our life. And we have to understand that just because you wake up, just because you experience a dark night of the soul, or you get on your spiritual path, doesn't mean that those negative feelings go away. Okay? I have days where I'm a bitch. I have days where I don't feel happy. There are days when I am stressed out as all hell, and I know I'm not high vibe. The key is that when you are having those rough days, when you are having those days where you don't want to get out of bed, when you don't want to deal with people, when you don't want to, pretend to smile, just being aware of it. Just being aware of it, and just say to yourself, okay, today's not my best day. Today, I'm going to try to avoid doing anything. Today, I'm going to avoid people. Today, I'm going to avoid this, or, whatever the case may be. It's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to defend yourself. It's okay to speak about things that you hold strong beliefs for. I just feel like this is something that we really need to put out into the spiritual community, because we think that we have to be so loving and so open and receptive and agree with everybody and, all of that stuff. And at the end of the day, if you're not enlightened, you're going to have an ego, unfortunately. You're going to have beliefs. You're going to have opinions. You're going to have your strengths. You're going to have your weaknesses. And your ego is always going to be there. We just need to be aware of it. And it's okay to have a bad day. It's okay to speak your truth, even if it might hurt someone else's feelings. It's because really, if we say it in the kindest way possible, okay, if we say something in the kindest way possible, no screaming, no bloodbaths, no anything like that, but we speak our truth, and someone's bound to feel upset about us speaking our truth, all we can do is the best we can do, okay? All we can do is say things in a respectable way and hope for the best. We can't control someone else's emotions, and we can't control the way someone perceives the way we speak our truth. Okay, because they might take it personally. Their beliefs might clash with our beliefs. It's bound to happen. This is the human experience. This is muggle shit, and we have to be okay with it. So, you know, I had this client where she was such a healer, and she was so intuitive, and she was telling me how she's really trying to stay high vibe. Like, she's really trying to, she's going through a lot in her life, and she is experiencing a lot of stress within her life, and she's trying to kind of be the beacon of light for her family and everything that's going on. And I just saw how much stress she was putting upon herself because she wanted to be so positive. And, you know, sometimes we have to suck it up. Sometimes we have to, you know, create strength where strength is not. And I told her, because it was a tarot reading and the cards were like basically showing me that she needs to just cry. She needs to just go within, and she needs to just give herself a break and just allow these emotions that she's holding on to be released from her. And when I told her that, she just kind of took this big inhale in, and she goes, I think that's exactly what I need. And, you know, a couple of days later, she messaged me and told me, like, you know, once she put the kids to school, she basically, you know, went into the bath and she cried. And she said it was the most exhilarating thing of her life. She just released so much anger and guilt and hatred and everything with what was going on in her life. And it was so nice to see that she took herself off this pedestal that she created for herself and just experienced being a human. Okay? Of course you're a light worker. Of course you're a healer. Of course you're a starseed, an empath, whatever the case may be. But you're also human. Unfortunately. Unfortunately, we're human, and we have to be okay with having bad days. We have to be okay with experiencing these emotions. And we need to give ourselves a break. That's the biggest thing. That is something that I struggle with every single day, is just giving myself the okay to not being high vibrational all the time. You know, and that's what I want you guys to do. When you guys are having a sucky ass day, when you are stressed out, when you're ripping your hair out, when things around you aren't going the way that you want them to, give yourself permission to feel the negative emotion. Give yourself permission to freak out, scream in a pillow, jump up and down. Go to your local gym and punch a punching bag. You know, it's okay, because it's through those experiences where we just surrender to what is happening is when the most growth occurs. It is when we really learn so much. You know, the best teachers in life are being broke, having a broken heart, and something else. But, you know, understanding these emotions and knowing that they're temporary are so important, because I feel like a lot of us, when we don't see the light of day, when we don't see something coming to an end, it makes these negative emotions much more intense. And we need to understand that everything is temporary, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. And that's what I want to talk about today. It's okay to freak out, guys. It's okay to have a bad day. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Stop thinking that you need to be high vibrational all the time. You don't. You don't. So I hope that this resonated with you. I'm sure it did. At least one point in your life, this episode is going to be something that you need to hear because we are human. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure, and I will see you next week.
Want a place for spiritual and personal growth? The Intuitive Souls monthly membership is now open for enrollment. With monthly trainings, virtual spiritual development circles, coaching calls, and access to the private Facebook group, this monthly membership gives you everything you need to help you grow your intuition and step into a higher level version of yourself. Now is the time to take your quirks and turn them into your superpowers. This monthly membership gives you a safe place where you can practice your intuitive and mediumship skills with like-minded, soul-driven sisters. Enrollment is only open for a limited time, so be sure to head on over to ericarusso.co to sign up today. I can't wait to see you there.